Ready?
Ready.
Welcome to Dumpster Diving,
the podcast.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Jo.
And we are back with another dumpster fire of an episode. I believe this is what, episode 6?
6.
Episode 6. And today's episode is all about family.
Oh, no.
No, family's good.
Okay. I was just thinking family drama.
Oh, no, it is. I was going to do a whole bit like Fast and the Furious. Like, we're about family here. But no, in true dumpster diving fashion, it's going to be about family drama. We've never had any family drama in the history of our family ever.
Never.
We are 100% drama free. There has never been a single family drama thing ever happen in our family.
Says no family ever.
Everyone's got family drama. Everyone's got skeletons in their closet. There's family drama of mine that you guys will never know about, and there's some that maybe you guys will learn about. I don't know. But family, you know, it's like any group of people. You get any group of people together, doesn't matter if they all agree on the same things. They might argue about something else. There's always gonna be an argument somewhere. Mom, what do you think we're gonna encounter today? What kind of family drama? What I was gonna say, what have you had the most family drama with, but you probably don't want to say. She's gonna say me. No.
I think there's probably a lot of sibling family drama out there.
Wouldn't know.
But yeah, exactly. You have no siblings. So.
I just argue with myself. No. Well, you have, okay. So a little background on you, and on our family dynamics. So okay. I'm an only child. You have 2 brothers.
2 older brothers.
You're the youngest. And then my dad has 2 older sisters. He's the youngest. So I feel like that probably, both of y'all growing up, probably that was some, fun times. Y'all both being like the annoying younger sibling, I feel.
Yeah,
Was that the case?
Yeah, I think so. Already talked about in one episode where I used to hide my brother's drumsticks.
Oh, that's right.
So let's see, what other kinds of family drama? There's always the family drama of when a parent or grandparent passes away and fighting over who gets what. That's a big one, I feel like. We haven't had that in our family.
No. Luckily it's been pretty mild with grandparents passing and all.
Everybody's kind of, gotten their sentimental things they want. I guess we don't come from families with a lot of money, so it's pretty simple.
Yeah, so there's no arguing over it. So I guess we got a lot of interesting stories to get into. Again, shout out to my friend Zach, who did help me find some of these stories.
Oh, yay. Hi, Zach.
And yeah, I think we're ready to dive in.
Ooh.
Okay, first story. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, this is 22 days ago from Am I the Asshole? And this is, am I the asshole for not telling my sister the name chosen for my unborn son because she used her BBF's baby name for her daughter?
Okay.
First of all, what's a BBF?
That's what I was going to say.
Am I supposed to know what that means, or was it a typo? Was it a typo for BFF? I'm thinking it may be a typo from the story.
Boy best friend?
Baby's best friend. No, I can't. BBF, boy best friend could be it. I don't know. I think it's a typo. Okay, so my sister and I are both pregnant. Oh, wow. I can't, I was going to say I can't imagine, but I really can't imagine because I don't have a sibling, so.
Well, we had that in our family.
We did?
Yeah, your 2 aunts were pregnant at the same time.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Because 2 of my cousins were born just a couple days apart, even.
Just a few days apart.
That's true. But I wasn't, they're older than me, so I wasn't around for that.
You weren't around.
I don't know what that was like. I just know they have birthdays a few days apart. Was that weird for them?
I don't think so. I think it was cool.
Kind of cool, yeah. They're really close, though.
Yeah.
Like, they're sisters. My dad's 2 sisters. Okay. So, my sister and I are both pregnant. This is her second child and my first. We're both having boys. When my sister had her daughter 3 years ago, her BFF was pregnant at the same time. My sister complained for 8 months that they didn't have any idea what to name my niece, and then all of a sudden, she had a name right before she gave birth. After my niece was born and her name was announced, my sister and her BFF started fighting. The BFF said that was the name she'd chosen for her baby girl, and my sister used the same first and middle name for my niece, and she couldn't believe she would do that. My sister said it's first come, first serve, and she needed a name badly. That her BFF had time to find another name. My sister is due before me, a few weeks before, and with that in mind, I don't want her to do the same thing to me. And she has asked. Nobody knows we're having a boy except me and my husband, and we plan to keep it that way. But my sister has asked what our boy name is, and as an afterthought, she asked for our girl name too when she realized I knew what she was getting at. I refused to tell her. She tried to whine about name sharing being the fun part of pregnancy. I made up a couple of names on the spot to tell her, and she saw through it. She told me to just tell her the name, and I said no again. She asked a few more times. She even asked in front of our family. It was our brother who joked that nobody should tell the baby name thief the name they've chosen. My sister got upset and asked if that's why I wouldn't tell her. She told me I was holding something against her that she never did to me. My mom asked why I couldn't just share the name and everyone would know my husband and I chose it first if my sister used it, but I still said no. Am I the asshole?
I don't think she is.
No. Your sister is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh. So how far apart were her and her BFF, I wonder?
Let's see. It doesn't say. My sister complained for 8 months that they didn't have any idea what to name my niece. Then all of a sudden she had a name right before she gave birth. So I don't know for sure.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's awful. I want to know if they're still friends.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would be something to end a friendship.
Yeah, especially what if it was a family name?
That's the thing. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Because we have a lot of that in our family where the names mean something because you're named after a grandparent or like your middle name is
after a grandparent.
After a grandparent or great grandparent. So that's awful. What a thing to do to your best friend.
Yeah, that's wild. And just be like, well, we needed a name. I'm like, then go online and search baby names. Yeah. Don't steal your friends.
There's millions of names. And to do I understand friends. If you're friends, you may have similar taste and all. And you could very well come up with the same name, but you discuss it and she didn't have to use the first and middle name.
That's what's crazy.
That's I don't blame the sister for not telling her at all.
No.
Especially since they're both having boys.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that she like gave her other names and she like saw through it. I'm like, she gave you some names.
Yeah.
I would ask, okay, what are you naming?
Yeah.
And they're probably be like, we don't know yet. And it's like, then you're not getting mine.
Yeah.
Crazy behavior. Also, I don't want to be. One day that kid's gonna find out.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be like, "What the heck, Mom?" Or
yeah, it'll always
whatever.
be a story they'll probably tell their child. Yeah, your name was stolen, so this is why you have the name you have.
Some top comments here. The BFF should have gone right ahead and used the name she wanted, especially since she was never going to speak to your sister again. It would make no difference.
True.
Someone said, I bet the bitterness changed how she felt about it, though.
Yeah.
That's true. Once a name is tainted, it's gone. That's
Yeah.
what somebody said, which is true. I've heard that with, like, you and some of my aunts because y'all were teachers. Like, there's
Yes.
certain names that you're like, oh, that kid was bad.
Yeah.
I had a bad kid named that, so I can never name my kid that. Yeah, someone said I was an art teacher for many years. Multiple names were tainted because of the students who bore them.
Yeah. And then also you had students that you just adored that you're like, oh, I'd name my child that. So
Someone said, tell your sister you're trying to decide between 3 names. 1, Jeffrey Dahmer, 2, Ronald McDonald, or 3, Richard Nixon. She's welcome to steal any of these names if she wants. I'd also tell her name sharing may be fun, but she names steals, and that is not fun.
yeah.
Someone said, tell her a shitty name that is believable. That would just be so sad to do the kid, though.
Yeah. That's also what you see a lot as a school teacher. We saw names that were like, we had a set of twins at one school I taught at.
Wasn't it orange jello and lemon jello?
Yeah.
Was the spelling.
Yeah,
one
was
word.
the spelling,
like
yes.
Orange jello, lemon jello. But weren't they pronounced Lamangelo and Orangelo?
Lamangelo and
honestly,
Orangelo.
Those are kind of cool names.
Yeah.
But it is funny to see, like, on paper, like, orange jello. Some more comments here, and the OP responded. Someone said, I hope the BFF dumped her as a friend. Don't tell her the name or lie and make up one. See the tragedy page for suggestions. I don't know what that is, but there's apparently there's a page for, like, it's crazy spelled names.
Oh, yeah.
So it's tragedy spelled TRAGEDIGH. And it's like tragic names, spellings. The OP responded, she didn't, but their relationship is not the same anymore. It does exist, which it would not if I'd been the BFF, especially for using it and then basically telling her BFF to find another name. Fuck that. So the OP, that's pretty crazy too. The OP is like on the BFF side, even though it's her sister.
The only thing about the tragedy name things is you do have to think there's an innocent child involved here. Yeah. And if she's not smart enough to catch on and she literally named her child that.
Yeah. So another person commented and said, not the asshole even a little bit. It's so obvious to me that your sister is trying to do the same thing again. Asking the same question, but in front of your family after you already said you didn't want to say, is a clear attempt to manipulate the situation and force it out of you. There's no actual tangible reason why you should be forced to share this info with her, especially with how unapologetic she was when it happened the first time around. Think about it. What's the worst that can happen if you don't tell her the name? She's unreasonably upset. She has to wait for the surprise like everyone else. Now, what's the worst that can happen if you do? She steals the name again, and you're either forced to change it last second like her best friend was, or your son and nephew are stuck with the same exact name. I mean, she literally stole her best friend's child's first and middle name, didn't leave her anything but the last name she already had, then didn't even try to deny it, just said you snooze, you lose. She wants you to feel bad for not telling her, but clearly has no ability to show the same to others. OP responded and said, this is all so true. Standing my ground will at least save the headache of being pressured to change the name when she decides to use it for her son.
Yeah.
That's so interesting to me. I don't understand why you would do that. Why would you want to take someone else's name?
No, I mean, there's so many names out there.
It's just very strange.
Why
I
do
don't
that
know.
to your friend?
Yeah, I don't know. Very weird. Very weird.
I want an update, and I want to know names
I don't
of the
think
two
there's
babies.
an update.
I know.
Wait, let me make sure. I mean, this was only 23 days ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know how pregnant they are right now, unfortunately. I don't think she said. So Yeah, there's some comments, but there's no, like, update on that. They're talking about how the BFF is still friends with their sister. She's lazy and stubborn is one of the comments she said. Apparently her and her husband can never agree on a name, so that's one of the reasons, like, they don't pick one.
Oh. Well, what I was expecting in a family thing with siblings is fighting over a family name. Like having a favorite uncle or a grandfather, and you want to give them the grandfather's name, and which sibling gets to have it, you know?
Yeah, well, and, like...
I know that happens a lot.
Well, and I know, like, there's 2 other people in our family that have my middle name that are younger than me.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't bother me that we share the same middle name, but they also wanted to be... use the name that was our great-grandmother's. Right. So I have 2 cousins, I think, that have Grace as their middle name, which there's nothing wrong with.
And there's nothing wrong with that, too. It's a middle name. But that's what gets me about what she did to the best friend. Took both names.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, especially since they're born at the same time. To me, it's a little different when it's, like, different generations. Like, we also have my dad was named after his dad, so he's a junior, and his name was John. Right. And then I have a cousin who is named John because his dad was named John, and because of his granddad being named John. So, like, we have, like, multiple Johns in the family, like, but none of them were, like, the same exact age. Right. That would be, like...
Or the same exact name.
Yeah. Like, but I also think like, even the same exact name, it's like, okay, if you're, like, doing it because you, like, loved that person or whatever. Right. But I just think it's weird to be, like, if my 2 aunts that had their 2 daughters within a few days of each other, if they both named them the same exact name, that would be confusing for the whole family.
But even with best friends, it would have been kind of cute, even to me, if like they both like the name Grace. So one named them Emily Grace and Tiffany Grace.
Yeah, that's
and that'd be kind of cute because that kind of makes them have something in common.
Well, me and my best friend, I won't like dox her children's names, but but like, even one of my best friends, since we were little, we've always said that we had 2 names that, like, she wanted she wanted her daughter to be named, and then it went together. Like, I won't say the names, but the 2 names went together, and she did end up naming her daughter the name. I haven't had kids. So. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, like, doing things like that with your best friend is, like, really cute.
Yeah.
But to just steal the name is absurd. Anyway, moving on to the next one. This is from 41 days ago. Am I the asshole? Advice needed. Am I the asshole? Wife spent the night at a friend's house. Okay. I'll keep this pretty simple. We're both in our 40s, together 11 years, married for 8. About 2 or 3 years ago, my wife ran into her ex-boyfriend, whom she lived with previously. They chatted and caught up with her. To be clear, they were part of the same friend group before dating. They'd bump into each other about every few, and they'd chit-chat and catch up on things at a nearby diner. About 2 weeks ago, she hung out with him and his friends until 10 p.m., 5+ hours after she got off work. She knew I did not like this. I don't think I'd be in the minority in this, but she has never given me a reason to doubt her, and she doesn't have a deep bench of friends. Yesterday, they met up again after work. She checked in around 3 hours after they met up, letting me know she was fine. I did my own thing at home until I basically just said fuck it and went to bed. I received the below text message at 12:45 a.m. Her, lost track of time, just gonna go to work from here. Look, I trust my wife. She's never before given me reason not to, and I know the realization her previous friend group has moved on has hit her hard recently. Even giving that I feel like I'm being gaslit, and at a bare minimum, this is extremely disrespectful, but am I the asshole? Now, I know you're thinking, how is this family? Well, a husband and wife can be family, okay? Just because they don't have kids. This is family related.
Yeah.
Family, friends, relationship, all of that related.
I don't think he's the asshole. I mean,
I don't think...
Well, what is it that he did that he's saying, am I the asshole? He hasn't done anything yet, has he?
Yeah. Why are you the asshole?
Just because he's concerned about his wife?
I guess so, because he's like worried about this, because he's feeling weird about this situation.
I think that's only human nature, though. He's not an asshole for that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. I have multiple friends who are the opposite sex. I have multiple friends who are guys. None of them, though, are my ex. Like, and there's nothing wrong with being friends with an ex if that situation occurs. But I feel like I don't have any problem with there being like friendships between people of the opposite sex, or I mean, if you're gay, if friendships with the same sex, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. To me, you get into icky territory when it's your ex because then there's like a level of, I don't know, like, I know he's part of this old friend group, but I'm like, okay, then you should have stayed at one of the friends' house, not the ex's house.
And do we know that? He didn't really give that information.
No.
We don't really know. Or was it when she just met up with him after work? Maybe it was just him.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe it was just...
Hold on. About 2 weeks ago, she hung out with him and his friends until 10 p.m. She knew I didn't like this. I don't think I'd be the minority. Okay. And then yesterday they met up again after work. So it sounds like she met up with the friends. Not that he has proof necessarily.
No, and she may be just using that as a cover. Yeah, she
checked in around 3 hours after they met up, letting me know she was fine. I did my own thing at home until I just decided to go to bed, and I received this text message at 12:45 a.m.
I don't know. I'm a different generation than you. I look at it as how I would feel at 40-something years old if your dad was hanging out with friends and then and one of them's an ex and he's not coming home. I'd be very worried. And it's not that I don't trust him.
It's just you don't put yourself in certain situations.
Exactly. And that's the way we've always been. You don't put yourself in situations.
Yeah, I just... and if it's just you two, then there's no... I don't know. To me, it's just weird with the whole ex thing. I mean, I've spent the night at friends' houses regardless of their gender.
Right.
And, like... it's not that big a deal.
But you weren't in a committed relationship with someone else when you did.
No, but I don't know. It's so weird to me because, like, I don't know. I've spent the night at my friend's house that's like a guy friend and they're married, and I spent the night at their home. Both of them.
But they were both there.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to, like, think of a situation. I don't think it's a problem.
And we don't know if the ex is married or not. Her ex.
No, we don't. I don't know. I don't... I don't feel
I don't know.
like
I would have a problem with it.
But then you could say...
I wouldn't do that to your dad, and I wouldn't expect him to do it to me.
Well, yeah, an ex, but I'm like, then you can say that, like, to me, if, like, then you shouldn't just spend the night at any friend's house. Well, I mean, like, if
regardless of gender
yeah,
or whatever.
regardless of gender.
Well, I
or
probably that's the
anything.
thing. I probably wouldn't.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't just because I don't like to spend the night at people's houses. No offense to anyone. I like to sleep in my own bed.
Well, you know, there's situations where have they been drinking
Yeah.
and she doesn't need to drive and, you know, she's going to crash on the couch.
Yeah.
But I understand that.
Because that's to me, I get that. Although, like, call your husband and he come
Right.
pick you up.
And call me old fashioned though. These are 40-something people, 40-year-olds. 40, didn't they say they're in their 40s?
Yeah, they're in their 40s. I will say,
This
when you're
this
40,
isn't-
why are you spending the night at someone's house?
Exactly.
Like, in general.
Right.
Like, call an Uber, call your husband.
Exactly. That's my whole thing. It's kind of the age, and maybe that's
Yeah.
age discrimination.
Maybe
but
so. And maybe it's just because, like, you and I are both this way. Like, we've talked about this before, like, even when you were younger or whatever.
No.
And even when I was younger, I've never liked, like, sleepovers or
No.
anything like that
Yeah.
much. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I have, like, crashed at friends' places, and I've had friends crash at my place that were in relationships. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a different dynamic to me if it's your ex, if it's someone that you have had a relationship with,
right.
then I don't know. There's a different level of, I don't know, trust that needs to be had or something.
Yeah.
And not even trust. Again, it's not that you don't trust. It's just like, don't put yourself in a situation with an ex. Like,
Well, I think that's the bottom line. The phrase that don't put yourself in situations.
yeah.
Do not put yourself in situations.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know how far away she was from,
Right.
like, her place or whatever. I still think, like, she, instead of her saying, like, I'm just going to stay here and go from work to here,
Yeah.
I think she could have said, hey, I've been drinking a bit with my friends. Could you come get me?
Yeah.
And then I would say he's the asshole if he's like, no. Then he would be the asshole.
Yeah. Well, depending on their situation, and I guess
Yeah.
depending on who the friends are, if I could see, I don't know. I guess I don't know the people. I can't make a judgment call because I don't know the people in their situation.
That's the thing. A lot of people are like, 100% she's cheating on him. No doubt. Like, we don't know that.
No, we don't.
Someone said, my first thought, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. As a lady, especially if you have work the following day, you'll never spend the night at someone's house without a pack of clothes and toiletries. This is just a fact that every girl I know adheres to. If that's the case, she knew what she was doing and lied about losing track of time. If she comes home from work that day with fresh clothes, hair, and makeup, she absolutely was planning on spending the night there and lied about it. Ooh. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
But then someone did say, I was like 7 when I learned that my aunt kept a small bag with a change of clothes, toiletry, etc. in her car at all times. I was told it was in case she spent the night somewhere different. I thought it was cool that even adults had sleepovers. I was so clueless. And someone said, yeah, to be fair, having an emergency overnight bag or change of clothes in your car is like something that someone might do.
Well, I mean, if you have an emergency bag in your car, then it's because of your lifestyle and how you are. Maybe you do spend the night at friends' house. Maybe you have friends that you drink, and so you know you don't want to get in a car or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's bothering her spouse.
I feel like you just need to talk to her.
Right.
So that's what some people said. Why did you come to Reddit here? I feel like you just need to
Yeah.
And I feel like, well, somebody said those are some pretty serious boundaries that are crossed, in my opinion. And I feel like every relationship is different, and every relationship has different boundaries. So I feel like that's something you guys should have talked about before she started hanging out so much with her ex. Or when she started hanging out with her ex.
If they've been together 11 years, they should know each other's boundaries by now. And that's the fact. That's the point, is that evidently he does feel like a boundary has been crossed.
Yeah.
I'm getting that vibe.
Same. I'm going to look and see if there's any updates or comments from the OP. No comments. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are asking for information. They're like, hey, OP, did she come home in the same clothes? Was she in a different outfit? Did she actually end up going to work? Like, what happened? Yeah, there's not a single comment from OP, which that really sucks. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's one of those things where I feel like there needs to be more information.
Yeah. Well, and they need to talk.
Yeah.
Because what this is going to happen, it's going to spiral into him maybe spying on her or following her. Just like, did she come home in the same clothes or wanting to check with her work to see, did she really go to work? And that's going to turn into a bad situation.
Yeah. And I just feel like there's not a lot of communication here because, like, to me, in a relationship, to text your partner at almost 1 a.m. when you haven't been home at all and be like, hey, lost track of time, just going to stay here, that's weird.
Well, unless it is something they do all the time. If they, if that's something in the relationship and they're okay with it.
And they're always hanging out with different friend groups and all. That's, I get it.
But he's not okay with it.
Yeah, it does not sound like he's okay. I don't think you're the asshole.
No.
I don't really know any, I don't feel like at this point with the information we have, I don't really think anyone's the asshole here yet until we know more information.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, someone said OP 12:45 is a reasonable time to Uber home. Go to work from here implies she was already at his house. Not cool. And I do have male friends crash at mine, not judging that blankly. Just this isn't how I'd go about it. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It just seems weird and icky. Like, I'm not opposed to, like, people crashing at people's places, but... yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird unless she was like, an hour away or something. Some people are saying that they think this story is fake because the OP didn't comment or anything. I don't think it's that. I just think they didn't respond to anyone. Yeah. Another comment said, so she's going to work in the same clothes that she wore the previous day. If she had a change of clothes, then she planned on this. Even if she didn't cheat on you physically, this was planned. And at a minimum, there is maybe some emotional cheating going on, which I feel like could be, if you, I don't know. It seems weird to me to bump into your ex after like a long time and then all of a sudden you're spending like a lot of time with them.
Right.
I feel like maybe there's something going on.
Yeah, because if they've been together 11 years, it's been 11 years at least.
So, anyway, kind of weird.
And why is her husband not invited to this friend group? I mean, when you're in your 40s and you're married, to me, in my opinion, the spouses would be included in whatever the friend groups are doing.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Kind of strange.
Yeah.
Anyways, next story. This is from 100 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Exactly 100 days ago. Am I the asshole for having a snack with my brother and sister-in-law after she had made a thoughtless remark about my wife? A snack? Okay.
Family drama.
Okay. My wife, sorry. That was a Borat remark, and I've never even watched that movie, but I know the meme. Okay. My wife, our 1-year-old son, and I were at my older brother's home yesterday for dinner. I used to visit them often before I was married, but even now we try to visit each other once a month and are generally on cordial terms. Cordial. During dinner, my sister-in-law made a remark about my wife's bag that I had bought her for our anniversary. My wife seemed happy about that, and everything was going well. My sister-in-law then compared it to my wallet, which is pretty old and worn, but I like it because my dad gave it to me 11 years ago when I left for college, and told my wife that she should make me shop for myself too. I said I liked my wallet. I've heard comments about it, and I just laugh it off. She then said something that basically translated to one person earns and another person spends. I felt uncomfortable about it, but my wife looked totally pissed off. I tried to change the topic, but my wife said she takes care of our son, maintains our house while I work, decorated our house from scratch, all true, and I routinely thank her for it. My sister-in-law said it was a joke, but within a few minutes, my wife just said she wasn't feeling well, and we went back. During the drive back home, and when we got there, she made it very clear that she won't be keeping any contact with her until she gets a clear apology. Today, my brother called and suggested we grab a bite to eat. I said sure. The way he said it, it really seemed like it was just the two of us. My wife also had no issues with that. I thought my brother was going to discuss a way for us to meet or something, so my sister-in-law and my wife could patch things up. When I went there, my sister-in-law was there too. While we were eating, they gave me her point of view, that it was a lighthearted comment and my wife was blowing it out of proportion. I defended my wife too and said she definitely feels it was out of line. When I came back home and my wife learned she was there too, she got really upset. She said if my sister-in-law wasn't prepared to render an apology, that I should have left and that I betrayed her by having food with them. I don't see it that way. I was really trying to fix everything in good faith. Am I the asshole?
I don't think he's the asshole because
No.
he didn't know. I think they are the assholes because they basically met up with him to basically put all the blame on the breaking down of the relationship on his wife. They should have all met together.
Yeah.
If they wanted to make it right.
I'm leaning towards that he's the asshole.
Oh, really?
Just because I feel, just from his language, I feel like he's trying to downplay it more.
Oh,
like,
maybe
I had a snack with them. Bro, you went and ate lunch with them. Also, let me make sure I'm right before I say this. But also, where was it? He didn't defend. He says I defended my wife, okay? But right here, it says it was, from their point of view, it was a lighthearted comment and my wife was blowing it out of proportion. I defended my wife too. Okay, that's what he says. But he says, I defended my wife too and said that she definitely feels it was out of line. He's putting it off on his wife.
Yes, he is.
He's saying, well, she felt it was out of line. Like, I can just see this guy sitting there going, well, I get it. I get that what you were doing was just making a lighthearted joke, but she feels that it was out of line. So I'm going to need you to apologize to her because of her feelings. Not I'm defending her like, yeah, it was out of line what you said to my wife.
Yeah, you're right.
He's saying she felt this way. Yeah. I don't care. I couldn't care less about this situation with my wife, but she has an issue with it. That's my feelings towards it.
Good catch.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah, so some comments here. It was wholly unfair that they brought you there, unsuspecting, to talk about your wife without your wife there to defend herself.
That's exactly.
The comments your sister-in-law made weren't funny or lighthearted at all. They were a dig at your wife, who she seemingly sees as just after your money. Your brother and his wife are your people. It is your job to fix this. I'm not sure that walking out immediately is the solution, but sitting down to a friendly meal that your wife isn't invited to isn't either. That's the thing too. When he realized the sister-in-law was there, he didn't have to sit down with them.
True.
He could have said, whoa, what are we doing here? Are you I don't think my wife would like this.
Well, no, because then he's putting it off on her again.
True.
I think he should have said, why are we doing this? The three of us.
Yeah, without my wife
She should
here.
be here also.
Yeah, you're right. That's
because
what y'all. You're exactly right.
You insulted her, and you should be.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that walking out immediately is the solution, but sitting down to a friendly meal that your wife isn't invited to isn't either. They don't see what she said was wrong. My guess is it goes deeper than this one comment, and I bet your brother agrees with his wife. A gentle, you're the asshole for now, but I hope you defended your wife vigorously. If you didn't, it's not so gentle. Your finances are none of their business. See, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah. I'm like, how do they even know? Like, has the brother, or has the OP talked to his brother and said some stuff about money or something?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
There's more to it.
Yeah.
This is an ongoing thing. Mm-hmm. We have a sister-in-law that's envious of their money, that he bought her an expensive bag, and it's really none of our business.
Yeah. Another comment, you're the asshole. She definitely feels it was out of line. That's what I said. Way to have her back. It was out of line, and you should have made it clear that you thought it was out of line too. You make it sound like it was her subjective perception. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seems.
Yeah, because the sister-in-law was definitely out of line.
Yeah,
that was a rude comment to make, and.
Yeah, someone said, not to mention the bag was a gift.
Right.
And he just let them rag on her for spending his money. He should have said something right there.
That's true.
He should have said,
it was
whoa.
a gift.
He should have said, whoa, first of all, it was a gift. Second of all, y'all need to respect my wife. The first time around.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's looking more and more like you're the asshole, sir.
Yeah. Well, I get it because sometimes I'm real slow reacting to things. Mm-hmm. Like I could see it being me being in his position and not really, and then it sink in. But that by the time I met with them in this restaurant to eat with them, I think it would have sunk in, and he should have said, "Hey, we shouldn't be meeting here talking about her. This is just more insult.
Yeah, she
should be here."
Okay, so the OP did comment back to some people. Info. Did you say that you thought her comment was out of line, or only that your wife thought so? Mm-hmm. Did you say that she owes your wife an apology? And the OP responded, I did tell her. Wait, where did it go? It went away. I did tell her she shouldn't have said that. She said she didn't mean it in the way my wife thinks, but I did tell her she should apologize as my wife was hurt by her comment, that her feelings were valid, and that's the only way this issue could be put to rest. Someone replied back, the issue can be put to rest when you do the right thing. The sister-in-law was out of line here. Tell her you think that, and not just your wife. It was a mean-spirited comment. Don't invalidate your wife's feelings over a joke. Jokes are only funny when everyone is laughing, and no one is being laughed at. And OP responded back and said, I did tell her it was a thoughtless thing to say, and she should apologize. I am definitely not on my sister-in-law's side here. Okay. He said, I am 100% on my wife's side. Maybe I haven't worded it correctly, but I unequivocally think my sister-in-law should apologize. She generally does not act like a crazy person, which is why I'm just willing to consider the fact that this wasn't some vindictive outburst on her part and may have been a shitty joke which she needs to apologize for, and the fact that she isn't is frustrating. I let all of this be known when we met, but I didn't storm out, which is what my wife thinks that I should have done. And someone responded, you think you're on your wife's side, but in this situation, the wording matters a lot. You saying she thinks it was out of line, it was out of line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I can understand them not just storming out, but it should have been said that she should be there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it kind of been in there. Yeah. And not the three of them sitting around talking
about her.
Yeah. But what I don't understand, okay, this is family, brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, because of a comment like that she made, the sister-in-law is not willing to, for the family's sake.
I know.
Just apologize.
Just apologize.
That's why I think there's more to it. There's more there. She's resentful of them or jealous or something. And it's almost like she's trying to create drama, just like inviting the brother to come eat with them and not his wife. Like, are they trying to cause trouble between the two?
Yeah, it feels a little
the husband
bit
and
like
wife.
that.
Yeah, it does feel a little like that.
We have an update.
Oh.
So 3 days after the post was created, he updated. An update for Am I the Asshole for having a snack with my brother and sister-in-law. Why did people not comment on that? What is this snack nonsense? Also, you're an adult. It's not like you went and had snack time with these people. You sat down and had a meal. What is this snack nonsense? Ugh. Okay.
Oh, maybe they met at a bar and just had a drink and
Well, then say that. What is
shared
this
nachos.
snack? I picture you like in kindergarten on a little mat eating Cheetos with your fingers. Like, anyways, okay. Here's the update. I realized that I didn't advocate for my wife to the extent that I should have. I told my brother we wouldn't be able to have these family meetups until this was resolved. Yesterday, my sister-in-law had sent me one of those funny, relatable memes. Okay. Well, it did get a laugh out of me. I told my sister-in-law that we, my wife and I, can't have any communication with her until she apologizes to my wife. She asked me if my wife was still upset over it. I said yes, and that it was understandable because what she had said was distasteful. I also said I was very surprised at how unreasonable she was being, that apologizing won't make anyone think less of her, that I've already told her now how she can fix this, that the ball is in her court, and ended our chat. Today, my sister-in-law told me she had apologized to my wife. I thanked her for it. When I got home, I asked my wife about it. She said she had apologized. I thought that was that, but my wife said she still won't be meeting her anymore, that her apology wasn't sincere, that the bell couldn't be unrung. I was frustrated because the apology for the stupid joke had finally come through and this issue was still not over. I asked my wife what she wants. She said she won't be meeting them until she feels comfortable. But we were meeting them before this happened, so the only issue is what happened that day, for which we've received an apology. But she was adamant that she was done with them. I will have to navigate through this issue and what this means for my relationship with my brother and sister-in-law. Ew. I don't like this at all.
Why does the sister-in-law keep communicating with the brother?
That's
sending him
question.
memes and...
Which, I mean, okay, on one hand, cool. Love that you have a relationship with your sister-in-law. I don't know. This is kind of weird, though.
I think so, too.
Okay. Some comments here. How clueless can one husband be? An apology just for apologizing to get over something is not a real apology. It's like a teenager rolling their eyes while they also say the word sorry with loads of attitude.
Right.
Your sister-in-law is not in fact sorry at all. She just wants to put this behind you so she can go back to normal, which for her is low-key disrespecting your wife while she sends you funny memes. So effing clueless. Once again, you're the asshole. A real apology includes an acknowledgement of what the offender did and why it was wrong, a sincere apology that the victim's feelings were hurt, and changed behavior. Your sister-in-law did none of these things. Again, because there's not one cell in her body that is sorry. And someone said, Annie's still talking and laughing with her. Yeah, he was like, I did get a laugh out of this silly little meme. What? OP commented back to some things. Someone had asked, do you not like your wife? You said you should have advocated for her more, but now you want her to go back to hanging around people who made degrading remarks about her. And someone said, seriously, you think about what the sister-in-law said. It's actually outrageous, not a stupid joke. I mean, it was a really mean and rotten thing to say. And the fact that you didn't immediately say, excuse me, what do you mean by that? My wife just gave birth to our child and contributes more than her share every day. Unless you agree with your sister-in-law, which may be the problem. OP responds, no. If she actually thinks my sister-in-law is generally hostile to her, we'll both stop seeing her. It's just that this whole thing started over the remark. My wife said it's an apology that she wants. I worked towards getting her that apology, and now I'm being told there's a general dislike, which was never brought up. The lack of communication is what's frustrating. Like, we normally see them only once or twice a month now, so it's fine, but if there was a problem in general, I could have been on her side better earlier. It's like someone said, if you had to push for an apology, it's not going to be genuine.
I'm beginning to think he's kind of clueless.
Yeah.
Because I think there's more going on there with the sister-in-law and the brother, and I think he's just acting like, oh, it's just this one thing.
Someone said, you're much too kind, because someone went off saying, like, you're getting beaten up here, but someone asked if you've done personality type quizzes or something because you guys communicate differently. And someone said, you're being much too kind. How is OP analytical? People have explained and spelled everything out for him here, and he still doesn't get it. There's no brain power or care or thought here. He's being intentionally obtuse because it doesn't affect him, so he doesn't care. And the OP said, I haven't done those type of quizzes, admittedly. It's totally possible what you're saying about a mismatch in personality types may be true. I will take a look at them. If you have a resource, that would be appreciated. Guys, I don't think personality quiz is going to help this man. He did say, I'm not going to push her to hang out. If she's uncomfortable, we won't do it. So, I mean, okay, good. I feel like this is like, not to be that person, but I fear we have a case of a stupid man here. Not all men, but men. It just seems he's being clueless and just not.
I think he is being clueless.
Because I have a feeling there probably has been more comments being made, and the wife has always just brushed him off, and this was like the final straw. And he's like, I don't understand. It was just this one thing. And I'm like...
And she apologized, so why can't we all move on?
Like, but did she apologize?
And he's saying, that's fine. I'm not going to make her feel uncomfortable. We just won't hang out with him much. Mm-hmm. But then is he going to resent his wife because, we're not getting to hang out with my brother and his wife? And
yeah. It's just, I don't know. Okay, moving on. This is from Today I Fucked Up. This is from 6 years ago. It's family drama with a capital F. Oh. This was fuck up of the month when it came out, which on the TIFU subreddit is like, it means it was like the biggest mess up of the month. So
wow.
Today I fucked up by buying everyone an AncenstryDNA kit and ruining Christmas.
Oh no.
Do you have some ideas
what
might be going down here? So, earlier this year, AncenstryDNA had a sale on their kit. I thought it would be a great gift idea, so I bought 6 of them for Christmas presents. Today, my family got together to exchange presents for our Christmas Eve tradition, and I gave my mom, dad, brother, and 2 sisters each a kit. So, mom, dad, brother, 2 sisters, and I guess himself?
Yeah.
Mom, dad, brother. 2 sisters. Yeah, it would be 6. As soon as everyone opened their gift at the same time, my mom started freaking out. She told us how she didn't want us taking them because they had unsafe chemicals. We explained to her how there were actually no chemicals, but we could tell she was still flustered. Later, she started trying to convince us that only one of us kids needs to take it since we will have all the same results, and to resell extra kits to save money. Fast forward, our parents have been fighting upstairs for the past hour, and we are downstairs trying to figure out who has a different dad.
Oh. That's terrible.
That's it. There's more, but that's it. I'm going to say right now. Some comments here. I work at AncenstryDNA. This actually happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's another comment here that said, I had the opposite thing happen. I did 23andMe and found out that my first cousins, who I'm not close with, they were estranged for a long time from my dad's brother, also had 23andMe because it matched us as first cousins. I told my dad this and was like, wait, it said that Karen is your first cousin? And I was like, yeah. And he asked to see it. Then he said, I have to call my brother. Turned out that my uncle had been convinced for decades that his ex-wife had an affair and his youngest daughter, Karen, wasn't really his. Turns out she has been the whole time. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I've never heard of that twist. Oh, why would you tell them that? Oh, wow.
So I was looking to see if there was like another update or something, but let me look at some comments here. If they responded to anything in the comments. I don't feel like they didn't comment back to anything.
So there's 2 brothers, 2 sisters?
2 boys, 2 sisters, and a mom and dad.
So are they all downstairs where mom and dad fighting going,
yeah,
which one of us doesn't look like the rest?
Yeah, like standing in a mirror.
Who has red hair and the rest of us are all brunettes?
Someone said, best case scenario, one of the kids has a different dad. Worst case, all the kids have a different dad.
Oh, no.
Worst case, all the kids have a different dad. Oh, so like their dad is not anyone's dad? Oh, that would be horrible.
Oh.
Okay. So, yeah, some comment. Yeah, the comments are just like, this is crazy. Update.
Oh, good.
Update number 1, actually.
Good.
Thank you so much for all the love and support. My sister's brother and I have not yet decided if we're going to take the test. No matter what the results are, we will still love each other and our parents no matter what. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Update number 2. Christmas isn't ruined. My fuck up actually turned into a Christmas miracle. Turns out my sister's father passed away shortly after she was born. A good friend of my mom's was able to help her through the darkest time in her life, and they went on to fall in love and create the rest of our family. They never told us because of how hard it was for my mom. Last night, she was strong enough to share stories and photos with us for the first time, and it truly brought us even closer together as a family. This is a Christmas we will never forget, and yes, we are all excited to get our test results. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh, that has a good ending.
Mm-hmm. And he said, P.S. Sorry, my mom isn't a whore. Oh. Yikes, because I think a lot of people were like, what did your mom do? You know, like, that's so wholesome.
It is.
That's the most beautiful kind of family drama. Honestly, it's kind of cool that that's what happened. Like, now they know, and she can share that part. Because it's not even bad. Like, it just happened to be that something bad happened, and something...
So her first daughter...
good bloomed out of it.
She had another relationship with, and he passed away, and...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's really sweet.
That is sweet. That's cool.
I like it. I don't have anything else to comment on that.
No,
it's just very
that's
nice.
Good. Good ending. Good ending.
Okay. Moving on. Am I the asshole? This is from 3 years ago. Am I the asshole for telling my brother that he's just an experiment? Is he Stitch? Is your brother a Stitch? Experiment 6632? What's Stitch's number? I don't know. Okay. So... I, 22 female, and my brother, 20 male, are attending different colleges, but they're both in the same city. I'm classmates with this guy, 22 male. Let's call him David. He's really handsome, fit, and smart, but also quite the player. They actually wrote quiet the player, but I think they mean quite the player. Most of my female friends have had one-night stands with him, and there are rumors going around about him sleeping with half the college, including some of the teachers. So imagine my surprise when I found out that my brother has started dating him. Yeah, he hasn't kept it a secret that he's bi and that he experimented with guys before, but I seriously didn't expect that my brother of all people to be this guy's type. Okay, so the brother isn't bi. The guy is bi. Okay. Where was I at? I seriously thought they were going to break up pretty fast, as David doesn't seem like the type to settle down easily. But surprisingly, him and my brother are still together after over half a year. So 6 months.
6 months.
And my brother has become really annoying during this period. Pretty much all he's doing now is gush about David and act like he's the best thing since sliced bread. Not to mention how he's following him like a puppy wherever they go together to an event. Yesterday was my brother's birthday, and he once again kept praising David, this time about his cooking skills. Apparently, he made him a special dinner and birthday cake, which I said that seemed cheap. And it's kind of worrying that his own boyfriend doesn't want to spend money on him. My brother intervened and said that he never really liked the material gifts for his birthday, and he's so glad that David picked up on that and was willing to put so much effort to make his birthday truly special, which really made him hopeful about their future together. I, however, wasn't impressed and told my brother that he should hold his horses and that David isn't the type to settle down, and he's probably just an experiment to him. My brother asked me what the hell I was talking about, and I told him about how he used to sleep with pretty much everyone in college before they started dating, and that there are even rumors about him sleeping with teachers just to keep his grades high. And considering that his grades haven't lowered since they started dating, I would be on guard around him if I was in his place. My brother went silent and pretty much stopped talking with me for the rest of the day, but at night I got a message from David telling me to stop spreading fake rumors about him and to stop trying to sabotage his relationship with my brother. However, I don't really think I was doing any of that. All I did was just warn my brother about the possibility of getting misled by David down the line, but David doesn't see things that way and thinks I'm actively trying to sabotage them. So am I the asshole for expressing my concerns for my brother? To my brother.
He's not an asshole for expressing his concerns. He's an asshole for the way he went about doing it.
Yeah.
And why did he wait?
I think she.
Oh, she.
I think I female. Yeah.
Why did she wait 6 months? I mean, if it's my brother, I would have told him early on, you know, just be careful.
Yeah.
You know, this person's a player.
Well, I need
There's
more...
lots of rumors. Maybe you ought to kind of check him out, you know, be...
That's the thing. I feel like I need more information. I need to know, did the brother know? Like, okay, because there's nothing wrong if he... Okay, like, I'm not gonna shame anyone.
Right.
If this guy just did, you know, sleep around or whatever, I mean, if people knew and, like, it wasn't like he was cheating on anyone during that time, then, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Did the brother know about his past? Of, like, just being someone that, you know, is... you know, always dating around and sleeping around and all. Like, I'd like to know if the brother knew that. Because if David is, like, keeping that from him, then that might be, like, a little red flag.
And maybe that's why the sister's getting upset.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like I mean, we don't know, but it sounds like she didn't say anything, and it's almost like she's getting jealous, or...
I feel...
maybe not jealous, but she's getting upset because... her brother is liking him so much and like going on about the dinner and all. And so now she decides to tell him.
Maybe I've just watched like too many sitcoms or something, but like, I almost feel, and I would say this whether the OP was a woman or a man or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to say that, oh, like women jealousy or whatever. But I don't know. Something about the way this is written.
You think the sister's jealous?
I'm almost wondering if, like, because she kept saying, like, he slept with, like, everyone out of school. But I'm like, are you upset that he didn't sleep with you? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me causing drama in my head. But I don't know. It seems almost like... I don't know.
Yeah, I can see where you see that.
Or she could just be worried about her brother.
Right.
But also, I mean, there's been plenty of times where, like, maybe he was just, like, dating around and sleeping around, and then he found her brother and fell in love and is like, okay, like, I want to be in a committed relationship now. Like, this person I like. I also don't like... I will say you're being an asshole about the birthday dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought.
That's weird. Like,
yeah.
Oh, he doesn't want to spend money on you? I'm like, girl, you got to spend money to baking a homemade cake is expensive.
Yeah.
That's not cheap. Like, buying ingredients for, like, a dinner and doing that. And then it's, like, this labor of love, of gift giving. And her brother, her brother was even like... no, he knows me. Like, I'd rather have something like this than just, like, some gift he bought, like a gift card at the store or something.
Well, I thought maybe where that was going is that he is still sleeping around.
That's the thing.
And he doesn't want other people to see that he's kind of being in a committed relationship with this guy. So he doesn't want to take him out to eat in public.
Yeah, which I can see where maybe, like, she's thinking that.
Yeah, but that's not what she said.
No. Also, the whole thing too about his grades, I feel like she's just like assuming a lot of things about this person because maybe she's judging him because he's slept with people.
Right.
Because she's like, well, and his grades are still good, so he must still be sleeping with him. I'm like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Also, she's just going off rumors. She's just perpetuating these rumors. Someone commented, OP 100% wants him, and OP responded, why would I want him? I can easily get someone much better than him. So there's that comment. Which I mean, like, yeah, maybe she doesn't. That was me too, being like, ooh, maybe she's jealous, but that's just me stirring it up, stirring the pot. As someone said, you're the asshole. Unless your friends that have definitely hooked up with David told you that he's a jerk, all you have is wild speculation. Also, get your head out of your ass about the birthday gift. Making a dinner and cake is special. The monetary value has nothing to do with it being a thoughtful expression.
Right.
And OP responded, they didn't, wait, what? Oh, and then someone said, getting the ingredients to make a cake from scratch is pretty expensive, let alone the ingredients to make the meal you have before the cake. OP cemented her asshole status by implying that cooking at home is automatically cheap. But OP, you're the asshole for all the rumors spreading and stuff. And OP said, they didn't tell me that, but they did agree with me. Oh, so I guess she's talking about the friends saying that he's a jerk. She said, they didn't tell me that, but they did agree with me that David's acting very friendly with the teachers, even flirty with some of them. So, of course, they're going to be suspicious there.
So she doesn't have any proof.
Yeah, someone said, how do you know this guy's grades?
Yeah.
And someone said, you're just a beginner. OP is stalking in the big leagues. Which, I mean, she could have easily, like, asked, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it is her brother's boyfriend, and her brother could be like, yeah, he gets good grades, you know. So that's not too far off. OP did comment a couple more times here. I'm trying to look for the comment they were responding to. Okay, you're the asshole. Jealousy is a monster, isn't it? And have you ever stopped to consider that these rumors you keep hearing are just that, rumors? It doesn't sound like you said those things to your brother out of concern, but out of spite. You should apologize because the two of them obviously seem happy and you don't need to rain on their parade. And she responded, she said, I myself noticed how he acts towards some of the teachers. Other people obviously noticed him too, so it's not a stretch to imagine that something may be going on there, especially knowing his history. Someone said, history is a history for a reason. You're telling me you're the exact same now as you were in your past? Actually, considering how mature and juvenile you sound in this post, that may be true. That's the thing, and I don't know. Some people just have more flirty personalities, and I could see... He may not even, because the rumor is she did say that it's even speculated that he sleeps with some of the teachers. Right. It could just be speculated because he does kind of flirt with the teachers to get on their good side.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, you do you, dude.
Well, I agree with the commenter that was talking about, it doesn't sound like she was concerned for her brother.
Yeah.
It sounded more like she was just being spiteful.
Yeah.
Because that's what I don't understand. If you were concerned about this guy that your brother's dating, why wait 6 months to bring it to his attention?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Someone said, you're the asshole. You heard a rumor, an unsubstantiated rumor about him sleeping with his teachers for grades, and you just decided that it's gospel. What is wrong with you? Are you jealous that he didn't want to hook up with you? Is that why you're slandering him to your brother? See, that was kind of my thought. She said, all I'm doing is looking out for my brother, and that's just because he has his head way up in the clouds. Wait. Around this guy for him to do it himself. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And she may know her brother. Maybe her brother is that way. Maybe he does. Yeah. He's naive and he has his head in the clouds a lot. But again,
the relationship.
Then she should have gone to him 6 months ago and been nice about it. And I'm just worried about you. Just be careful. You know, this is the rumor I've heard. I don't know if it's true.
That's the thing. It just seems like you're going about it the wrong way. We were having this conversation the other day about, like, if you don't like someone's, because a friend of a friend that we know, basically told someone that they couldn't stand their fiance. And we were talking about, like, the right way to go about something like that. If you don't like someone's significant other or whatever, or you're concerned for them. Also, there's a difference in, like, just not vibing with someone or not really liking them or not, you know, they're not your type of friend to hang out with or whatever. And then also, like, being concerned for your friend that they're in a relationship with this person.
Right.
And I feel like that's that's kind of the difference here. I don't know if she's concerned or if she's just kind of wanting to control the situation because she doesn't like this guy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even if this guy came to her and was like, yeah, that was in my past, I slept around and now I'm 100% committed to your brother, I feel like she would still be like, yeah, but you slept, you were sleeping around with everyone. You're a bad guy. Like, I just feel like that's kind of the vibe she's giving here is there's no, it's just like she has made her decision and she's never going to like this guy.
Yeah, she's judged him
and there's a way to go about it and be like, hey, I'm a little concerned. Like, I don't want him to cheat on you. You're my brother and I'm looking out for you. The same of like your friend. Like, you can't go directly to your friend and be like, hey, I hate the guy you're going to marry. Like, that's not, it's not going to end well for anyone.
No.
Your friend's going to be mad. There's no, I mean, immediately the person's going to be defensive because you just told me the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, you hate.
Right.
So what position are you putting me in there? Like, it's just
it's like you said, it's one thing if you have concern for them.
Yeah.
And that's the way you go about it. You say, I'm concerned for you. Maybe, why do you not like that person? Are they cheating on your friend and you know it? Or do you, like you said, you just don't vibe with them? I've had friends in the past. I've had friends in the past that I didn't particularly like who they were dating. Mm-hmm. Or I have one friend in particular, I did not like her boyfriend, and then he turned into her fiance. But I wouldn't, it was just, it wasn't that I felt like he was bad for her or not good to her. Mm-hmm. Our personalities. Yeah. I just kind of had the vibe. It turned out I ended up just really liking him. I just didn't know him well enough. Yeah. So you want to be careful what you say to a friend. Yeah. Because I never expressed it to her that, I don't really care for your boyfriend.
Yeah, I feel like unless it's something like a situation, like it's a dangerous situation or like you have like complete proof that this person has cheated on you, or like the story that we covered where the friend found out that she was talking about his son. Yeah. Like if it's something like that, I don't feel like you really have the right to tell someone you don't like the person you're with. Like, because just because they're not your kind of person doesn't mean that, if they're making your friend happy and it's a healthy relationship, there's not like abuse or something going on like that. Obviously, that's a completely different story. But to just be like, or even if you think that their relationship isn't going to last or that they're toxic for each other or whatever, you can't really go about saying that. You're just going to have to let it play out. Yeah. I mean, like, it's just one of those things where it's most of the time not going to work out, especially if you go about it the wrong way. Yeah. It's one thing even if you go about it. Okay, so we had some technical difficulties. Diggle has now joined us. We had to call in the big dogs, little dogs. No, I looked over and noticed that I was no longer recording, and I think we only lost like 2 minutes of audio. I'm gonna try to steal it from the video. It may just sound crappy for like 2 minutes, but if not, that's why there's a weird gap here, and we don't remember what we were saying. Because also when I noticed that the recording was not recording, I jumped up and I spilt my coffee that was sitting on the floor. So it's been a mess. So
we regrouped.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we were at. Were we talking about the brother and sister still?
We were talking about the brother and sister.
Telling a friend if you don't like their partner.
Yeah. Not a good idea.
Yeah. So just weird. Okay. So I guess let's just move on to the next one because I don't know where we were or what. Yeah. This one is from 13 days ago. And this is, am I the asshole for erasing, in quotes, my parents after my cousin stole my food and had an allergic reaction.
Erasing my parents.
Yeah, that's a little worrisome. What do you mean erasing?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. 13 days ago.
I just think of the Marvel movie. Is it Marvel?
Oh, the new one? The Thunderbolts one where they're just like... Well, also, okay, first of all, Marvel has erased people in multiple different ways
yes.
throughout it. we had, Thanos that disappeared people and erased them, but then the new Thunderbolts movie, spoiler alert, I mean, you've seen it. It's in the trailer, okay? The people, we won't tell you how or why, but the people you see in the trailer, they go, and then it's just like their shadow scorched onto the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's hope they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 16, female. Okay, so it's a teenager. Okay. And a couple months ago, my parents cleared out their office room so my 13-year-old cousin could move in. Ever since she got here, stuff from my room has been going missing.
Oh, no.
Mostly clothing and my braiding hair, since I do hair on myself and others. My crop tops, tube tops, little things like that kept turning up missing. Or when I did find them, they were cut shorter or stained. Important detail, no one in the house has a lock on their door except my parents and obviously the front door. I asked my parents for a lock since it was pretty clear who was taking my stuff, and they said no because a couple months ago I got caught smoking weed and they don't want anything happening in my room. Okay, cool, I understand that, but not the fact that my things were getting stolen and nobody cared but me since I've brung it up to their attention many times, but her actions were always excused with, she's growing up and finding herself. Let her be. Okay, there's a difference in that and stealing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one day I confronted my cousin and was like, if you wanted to borrow my stuff, you could have just asked. I probably would let you. And she literally said, because it looks better if it's stolen. What? We argued. Parents got involved and got yelled at since I'm immature for arguing with a 13-year-old who obviously knew what she was doing. After that, my parents started acting super standoffish with me, like barely talking, ignoring me in the house, weird passive-aggressive energy. I was basically just staying in my room to avoid everyone. Fast forward to two weeks. I come home from school and immediately get screamed at by both my parents at once for giving my cousin food poisoning. Turns out she went into the fridge, stole my leftover peanut noodles, which she 100% knew were mine, and that she's allergic to, ate them, and had a reaction. Here's the thing, though. Nobody in the house even knew she was allergic to peanuts except her and my dad. Not me, not my mom, no one else. But somehow this was my fault. Okay, cool. My parents said I could stay with my grandmother, who lives 36 hours away, for the summer for my cousin to calm down from the situation, since every time I walk around in the house I've lived in for 16 straight years, she complains she was scared of me. I've been here for a week or two at her grandparents'. I tried checking in with my parents a couple times, but they barely answered, so I just blocked them. Now trying to protect my peace and live my life without the title "the food poisoner" sticking on my back. Now they're blowing up my grandma, saying I'm trying to erase them from my life. And honestly, I'm just tired of putting in effort in a relationship they have obviously given up on. Am I the asshole? Please give feedback or advice.
This is strange.
This is weird. I'm
The
almost
whole
like,
thing.
is this real? Like, it's from a 16-year-old? I don't know.
Or maybe it's just
But
a
sometimes
really
people are, I don't know.
unreliable narrator. Why would parents that would take in a 13-year-old then treat their 16-year-old like that?
Yeah.
I have a feeling maybe the 16-year-old's not
telling the whole story.
telling the whole story.
Either that or their parents are just crazy. I mean,
That's so weird.
It's definitely like treating their own kid like a stepchild kind of thing. Well, I
Right.
mean, you shouldn't treat a stepchild that way either, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Someone said, not the asshole. I'd quit trying to reach out. You don't say how your grandma is responding to them or how she views all of this. You also don't say if you're expected to be back in the fall, although it sounds like it. They didn't protect you from her theft, her lies, or her drama. I wouldn't want to talk to them either. If your grandma is sympathetic, ask her to tell them to give you some space because they haven't had your back. When you do talk to them, I would, in as calm a manner as possible, tell them you feel they weren't listening to your concerns, you were blamed for things you didn't do, and you don't want to talk right now. Assuming you're going back in a few months, perhaps before you return, ask for locks on your closet or wherever you store your stuff that she's been stealing rather than your door. Also ask for clear ground rules about food if she has previously undisclosed food allergies. Do they also have food with peanuts, or is that now banned entirely from the house? I have to wonder if she moved in with your family because this behavior got her kicked out of wherever she lived before, and if your parents took that into account. OP responded to that and said after the incident, they banned peanut-related foods. Cousin got kicked out because she was doing horrible in school and doing a lot of stuff she wasn't supposed to, so her parents asked mine to take her, and they did. Thank you for the advice. I will use it when I feel less emotional about calling and talking to them.
So they took her in because
she was acting out. Yeah.
She was acting out, and the parents weren't having any luck, but they're not
really helping.
They're not helping, and they're not doing anything for her by just giving in to her.
No, they're just kind of coddling it.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not getting upset at her for stealing their daughter's stuff and all.
I still don't understand blaming their daughter for the peanut allergy thing when she didn't even know. And it was...
Well, and I think it's weird that the dad knew and he didn't say, like...
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful about having...
Like, why? It was almost like they kept it a secret. Like, why are you keeping this a secret?
I don't know. Again, like, the 16-year-old could be unreliable the way she told that story about the peanuts, because that doesn't make sense at all to me that the parents were like, yeah, you're in trouble because you fed her this food when she didn't even feed her the food. It was her leftovers she put in the refrigerator. You see stories
like this on Reddit where the people were acting like weird, but
I know it's hard for me to imagine that you would do that, but I guess they could have.
Okay, so update number 1.
Okay.
Update. I think I'm doing this right. My parents live in New York, and my grandmother lives in Los Angeles. So that's where the estimated 36 hours came from. It might be more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's weird that she's like, it might be more. I guess maybe she flew there or something.
Maybe.
She moved in, the cousin moved in with us because her parents couldn't handle her. My grandmother talks to my mom regularly. I have a hard time with that word. To my mom regularly, but never tells me what they talk about. But she did tell me that my dad went through the cousin's phone and has seen she was planning to meet up with a 17-year-old boy to smoke weed and do other things. They also rolled into her in the middle of the night. No, they also enrolled her into the middle school. Okay. My brain's making up words. They also enrolled her into the middle school I went to since she is in 8th grade, and apparently she's doing much better, which I don't believe. Not trying to be bitter, but I genuinely feel like I have the right to do so. It's such a 16-year-old thing. Yeah. I genuinely think I have the right to be mad right now. She also said I would have to go back at the end of the summer, so this doesn't blow up into a bigger situation than it has to be, the grandmother. And that she's going to try her best to fly my parents out later next week for everyone to talk this out at her therapy group. I'm going to take everyone's advice and start to save my money from doing hair and other jobs, and I will try to convince my grandmother to let me stay with her once this situation dies down for a while, so I will give it maybe 3 weeks. Thank you for all the advice. I will try to keep updates going for you all. So that's update number 1. Okay. Update number 2. Sorry for the lack of updates. I was focused on this situation and my birthday. My parents flew out 2 days ago with my cousin. We went to family therapy, which was very dramatic, is how they wrote it. My mom had the audacity to cry the whole time, saying that I was going off the rails and that I was becoming way too grown for my age and very defiant. My cousin stayed silent the whole time, up until she randomly broke down crying when the therapist asked her about her family and how she was scared of her own parents, and I kept rubbing it in her face that I had parents who cared and she didn't. She also said she didn't know about the noodles, but she knew I knew that she had the allergy. I didn't know she had an allergy, and I didn't know she was going to steal random food in a white to-go box out of the fridge. Grandma listened the whole time, and my father comforted my mom the whole time. I kept trying to speak, but my mom's loud sobbing made it hard. She was completely hysterical because I cut contact with my own blood. After the therapy session, my grandma took us all back to her house, which isn't very big, 3 rooms, and there was 4 of us, meaning I have to share a room with my cousin. The house has been quiet, and my mom and dad have only been speaking to my grandma and cousin, refusing to speak to me. I was speaking with my grandma last night, and she said she's going to try to convince them to let me live with her by mid-July. She spoke with my mom about it, and she broke down crying, like ugly crying, screaming that my grandma was just as bad as I was. It's been like this for the last 2 hours. What do I do?
No. It sounds...
If this is all real, okay, which I know that's always our thing. It's like, okay, if the OP is a reliable narrator, which is hard to think about when it's a 16-year-old writing this, but let's say that she's got a good head on her shoulders and she is being 100% truthful about this situation. They need more family therapy, though.
They definitely need
because
more
the parents, it's wild to me that the parents are upset and sobbing in this family therapy and saying, this is why I'm like, is it a reliable narrator, or are the parents just this, not right with what they're doing, like need help or something? Because they're upset and saying, like, she cut ties with her own blood, and how would you do this? Well, y'all are the ones that sent her away across the country.
Right.
And you're also the ones that you guys got back to the house, and now you won't speak to your daughter? So if this is true, which is it's kind of hard for me to believe.
Right.
But if it is, then the parents really need to...
They need more family therapy. And these parents don't need to be taking in a 13-year-old.
They can't even handle the situation that's going on with their own child, much less whatever situation is going on with this cousin.
Right. I would have a tendency to believe that the 16-year-old is not... She's acting like a 16-year-old one thing.
She
is. Maybe being a little dramatic about that mom cried the whole time in therapy and that, they're not speaking to me, when maybe their deal was maybe it got too heated and they're like, okay, we've got to not talk for a little bit. Everybody needs to calm down. And so I can see a 16-year-old turning that into, they won't even speak to me.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
We don't know.
Like I said, if it's all true, then I hope she can live with her grandmother, because her parents have definitely a lot of issues of their own. Right. Especially the mom, that needs to be worked out. Someone commented, maybe you could go live with your cousin's parents. And OP responded, horrible people, LMFAO. I can't do that.
So that's that may be why the mom and dad, even though they're having their own problems with their own daughter and all, they took her in because they felt like it was just too dangerous a situation for her to be in. If
it's her cousin, so it means, and her dad was the one that knew about the peanut allergy, so I'm guessing it's like his sister or brother's kid, right?
Yeah.
Someone said, not the asshole. How come your cousin moved in with you? Was she your dad's affair baby or something that they'd put her over you? Oh. That's a wild conclusion to jump to. She said she was basically doing a lot of things she wasn't. This is the OP responding. She was basically doing a lot of things she wasn't supposed to. Parents couldn't stop her and asked mine, so mine took her in. And someone said, your parents are choosing your delinquent cousin over you.
That's a bad situation. Anytime you've got a mix, you've got a 13-year-old that definitely has problems, and then you've got a 16-year-old that, she's a 16-year-old.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm
and
like,
then having to deal.
A 13 and 16-year-old under the same roof anyway, just like under normal circumstances, is going to be like dramatic central, just because you're dealing with that. Those two ages are like full of hormones and just like puberty and like coming into your own, like a 7th or 8th grader and like a 16 year, like a sophomore, junior, like those are tricky times in a person's life. So
well, I understand taking in the 13-year-old if she's in a dangerous situation, and but if the 16-year-old is reliable, they're going about it so wrong, because you have to, I mean, it's a great teaching moment to teach your 16-year-old, this is what we have to do. She's family.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. So, cut her a little slack, but don't let her just steal from her and tell your daughter that's...
Yeah.
It could be a very teachable moment, or it could be that sometimes, I don't know, this is me, but sometimes I'd have to put my child before someone else's and say, she's going through a rough time of her own. I can't take this 13-year-old in. I mean, maybe they don't have any choice. If there's no other family that can take her, then I get it. But gosh, sit down and, again, what does it come down to? What does it come down to? Communication. Mm-hmm. They need to have a family meeting with the 13-year-old, the 16-year-old when she moved in.
Yeah.
And said, this is,
lay down the law.
Yeah. And we're not, no, y'all aren't used to each other, and, but we're going to make it work. And
yeah, because I'm wondering,
these are going to be the rules.
Is the 16-year-old an only child? It seems that way.
Yeah.
Unless she has like an older brother or sibling that's grown and out of the house, which could be the case.
Right.
But essentially, she's been an only child for a little bit when this, or at least the youngest in the house, when this 13-year-old moved in. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. There's no more updates. That's just
bad situation all the way around.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the parents aren't handling it very well.
I almost hope it's fake. Like, I don't know.
Hope it's fake.
Yeah, because if the OP is 100% reliable, it's just, I hate that.
Yeah.
Because that's just not good for anyone.
Yeah.
And maybe she can stay with her grandmother. I don't know. Okay.
It sounds like the grandmother's the one really trying in this situation, really.
Well, I'm like, can the grandma take in the cousin? Yeah. But maybe she's not the grandma of the cousin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think she did say it's her mom's mom. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Next one. This is from 15 days ago. It's from a throwaway account. True throwaway was the username. Am I the asshole for saying that my brother-in-law and his future wife can't sleep in our bedroom while we host them on their honeymoon? No, you're not. I'm just going to say right now. I, 35 female, and my husband, 36 male, are fortunate enough to live in an area of the world that is very beautiful and, as a result, frequently visited for honeymoons. My brother-in-law, 30, and his soon-to-be wife, 21-8 female, are getting married in August and want to honeymoon in the area where my husband and I live. And they asked around a month ago if they could stay with us on their honeymoon. We agreed. They are family and also tight on funds. We're happy to help and host them. However, they asked my husband last week if they could stay in our bedroom on their honeymoon. We have a 2-bedroom home, and our guest room has an air mattress that is used for when friends and family stay. Otherwise, it is my work-from-home office, hence why we don't have a typical mattress in there. My brother-in-law didn't really get into the specifics of why they didn't want the guest bedroom air mattress, but the gist seemed to be, we don't think an air mattress is honeymoon appropriate. When my husband asked me about it, I was honest with him and said I wasn't comfortable with his brother and his new wife sleeping in our bed on their honeymoon. My husband agreed with me. Apparently, us saying no to this request has caused some issues in my husband's family, particularly with his sister, who's saying we should just let the brother-in-law and his future wife stay in our room as it's their honeymoon and they shouldn't have to sleep on an air mattress. We love everyone in this scenario, especially the brother-in-law and his future wife, and don't want to cause a rift, so my husband is sort of leaning towards acquiescing?
Spell it.
ACQUIESING.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Okay. Sort of leaning towards. I'm going to look up this word.
Yeah, look it up.
I looked up the word and it's not showing me a word.
Maybe it's...
Oh, yeah, it is. Agreeing. The synonym for it is agreeing.
Oh, okay.
To accept, comply, or submit. Acquiescing? Appeasing? I don't know. He's leaning towards accepting their request. However, I am not down to change my mind on this. It honestly really grosses me out because I believe that the reason they want our bedroom is so they can comfortably bang. Use the word bang. You use the word acquiescing and then you use the word bang in the same sentence during their honeymoon on a regular, not air mattress.
Oh.
I don't think you're the asshole.
No, I don't think so at all. But I'm really weird about my bed.
I am too.
This family, we're weird about our beds. I know.
I mean, I don't even like. I don't know. Like my bed is like my little comfort space. I won't sit on it in like my outside clothes. I won't like.
Mm-mm.
I don't like. I mean, it goes back to like the sleepover thing. Like I don't like people. Like, when I've had friends that would come visit me when I lived in LA, like, I didn't really want to share a bed with them. Like, no offense to my friends. It's not like I don't like them. It's just, like, I don't know. Your bed is, like, I don't know. It's just, like, your place. And you don't want anyone in it. I know you can, like, wash your sheets or whatever. It's not that. And I know it's, like, okay, well, everyone, whatever. But, like, I don't know. If you don't feel comfortable with it, you don't feel comfortable with it.
And I guess you get that from me maybe because I just have this thing about sharing my bed. I don't like anybody else sleeping in my bed. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm telling some stuff here that probably has never been said out loud outside the family. But I mean, I've had guests over like when Jackie was living in LA, and here I had an empty bedroom with her bed in it, but I didn't let the guests sleep in her bed. Yeah, they slept on the couch. I was like, I don't want someone sleeping in my bed. That's my bed. And that wasn't her. That was me, because I don't. We've had people house sit, and I think one time our nephew house sat for us, and he used our bed. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I let him do that or had him do that, because that's just I don't have guests. And I know, and to a lot of people, that's probably really rude. Yeah. And I get it. I mean, there's different people feel differently, but I don't like someone else sleeping in my bed. So we used to have a guest bedroom. And when we had a guest bedroom, that's where the guests always slept.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like you're allowed to have your boundaries. If you have a boundary that's just weird to you, or you don't like it, or uncomfortable, or whatever, then that's your boundary. Like,
and I don't think they have any right to get upset with them about
that.
That's
what I don't understand. I'm like, they're hosting for your honeymoon. You can either accept it or not. And I'm like, you don't get to. It doesn't even come down to like, oh, like, you know, they're banging in your bed or whatever. Like, not even that. It's just like, it's your bedroom. Yeah. And they asked to come visit you. They asked to stay here for their honeymoon. You're accommodating them. Your work from home space even is being taken up. Right. I'm like...
I mean, you can rent furniture. They could rent them a bed to put in that spare bedroom. Mm-hmm. I know she says they have limited funds, but that's not their problem. I think they're being very generous to open their house to them. They don't have to open their bedroom to them, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and my other thing is like,
right, Diggle?
So this is the husband's brother. Like, as his brother, why do you want like your first time like being together as husband and wife or whatever on your honeymoon. You really want all those memories to be in your brother's room? Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me, but I don't know. I don't know. You're allowed to have your boundaries though. So I don't think you're the asshole. Like,
Not
if you
at
don't
all.
want to give up your room, like that's your bedroom. Like
Right.
like I said, like my bed is like my little comfy place. Like I don't want anyone else in it. I don't want
And some people wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
And
that's
fine.
also fine.
That's fine. But
if you do
have to respect their boundaries.
Exactly.
If they don't want to do that, then they don't.
And this is what bugs me. The rest of the family is like getting all
I
upset
know.
and being like, it's their honeymoon. They shouldn't have to sleep on an air mattress. I'm like, it's their honeymoon. They can choose the tickle. They can choose to not go to wherever this is and spend less money or something.
Right. Go someplace else.
Some comments here. It is their honeymoon. They shouldn't have to sleep on an air mattress. Remind the sister and the rest of the family that no one, let alone you and your husband, are forcing them to spend their honeymoon in your home.
Right.
That was their choice and their request. Your guest bed happens to be an air mattress. If they think that an air mattress isn't good enough, they're free to choose any other location that isn't your home. And someone said, well, tell the sister that they can pay for the hotel room, that they don't have to sleep on an air mattress.
Right. Well, too, if you want a certain thing for your honeymoon, but you can't afford it, postpone your honeymoon. I know couples that have done that.
Yeah.
They spent money on the wedding. They didn't have money for a honeymoon, so they waited to go on a honeymoon. Or they waited and put off the whole thing until they...
Yeah.
And if the family thinks that they're being wrong, let the family pay for.
That's the thing. If they're so worried about it, like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I just don't think people are allowed to set boundaries. It's like they said, it's their honeymoon, but it's your home. And whatever happens under your roof, you have a right to be like, hey, I don't want you to take my bedroom.
Yeah.
Let's see. There are some comments here.
What you doing, Diggy?
Someone said, you're the asshole for not understanding why you won't have an air mattress left afterwards if you have your brother-in-law and new sister-in-law sleep on it for their honeymoon. And the OP responded, I don't really care about that, LOL. We can buy a new air mattress.
Right.
Like, I don't think that's the point. I think it's that they're wanting to, like, take over. I mean, essentially, to me, I just think it's rude to request that much from someone, period. Whether you care about someone sleeping in your bed or not, it's one thing if they offered it.
Right.
But I'm like, you're now asking for their bedroom. That means that you are also getting the master bathroom. You're putting them out, essentially, in their own home. Because you're saying, well, we want the bedroom. We want the big bedroom. We want your bedroom. We want your bathroom. Like, where else? It's not going to end. Then are they going to say, when you get up in the morning for work and they're on their honeymoon, so they're like, oh, why did you get up early and leave? It woke me up. Or is it going to be, oh, they made breakfast. Well, why didn't you make us waffles? It's our honeymoon. Like, everything is just going to, well, that's my thing is like, if you give a mouse a cookie, it's just going to snowball. It's like, well, it's our honeymoon. So you guys should be bending over back. It's our honeymoon. Can you guys take us on a guided tour of the area or whatever? We want you to take us on a tour of the whatever, wherever they live,
Well, or if it's our honeymoon, you want to talk?
Diggle's trying to get to the microphone.
You want to talk? Aww. What do you have to say? Just kisses? Just kisses?
He's licking the microphone.
You're silly. You're silly. I mean, well, the next thing they'll be asking is, well, can't y'all just leave?
Yeah.
Just leave your house.
Can we just have the house to ourselves while we're here? It's like, excuse
y'all
you.
take vacation or y'all go go get a hotel.
Someone said, not the asshole. Absolutely no. They can save up for a hotel. They don't have to take their honeymoon right now. They can wait a year or so. The entitlement is extreme. And the OP responded, I hadn't thought about that. You're right. They could definitely wait and postpone the honeymoon until they have more money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just feel, I don't know. I think maybe it's weirder too because it is their honeymoon. And to me, I'm like, I don't want to stay with someone on my honeymoon, not just because like oh, the banging in the bed, but it's just funny that she said banging. But like just because it is your first like trip together as newlyweds, right? So don't you want to like do something
Just the two of you.
just the two of you? Like you don't want to like have to deal with someone's schedule and in their house and all. And I get it. I totally understand like not having the funds and all and wanting to go somewhere nice, but I mean, take like a weekend road trip or something right now and
Right.
save up to go to somewhere nice in
Right.
a year or so, you know? Like, I don't know.
But it's not the rest of the family's responsibility to accommodate you for your honeymoon.
Another comment here that OP responded to, not the asshole, it's really kind of you to let them stay for their honeymoon, but that doesn't entitle them to your bed. If they want a different situation, they can pay for a hotel and stop trying to take advantage of your kind hospitality. OP responded, thanks. It also bothers me a bit because brother-in-law, before he was with his fiance, has visited us before and the air mattress were zero issues then. And we have never let anyone visiting us stay in our bedroom bed, even my husband's parents or my parents. I could sort of understand brother-in-law asking this of us for them while they're on their honeymoon, even if appropriate, entitled, in bad taste, etc., if we had done so for others. But again, we never have.
Right.
Someone replied, yeah, my wife and I live in Maui, so we've had plenty of guests. No one is sleeping in our fucking bed. Another comment here. Someone said, yeah, and it doesn't even sound like the brother-in-law is making an issue, but other family is. And she said, yeah, the other family is, particularly the sister of my husband and brother-in-law. Yeah, I feel like the sister's just stirring it up. Like, I almost wonder if, like, the brother-in-law or the fiance was, like, talking to the sister, and they're like, yeah, we're going to stay at their place. And she's like, they're making you stay on an air mattress?
Yeah.
On your honeymoon? And then they got to thinking about it, and we're like, oh, yeah. And then one more comment here from OP responding to someone saying, you could be disappointed about something and tell someone else without necessarily being complaining. The couple could have said, I mean, it sucks that we won't get to have sex the way we had hoped, but it's okay. I'm happy we'll get a place to stay. Maybe they were telling the sister, and then the sister suggested that they should ask OP about her husband. That's exactly what I said. Then they told the sister what OP said because the sister suggested it. OP responded, this is how I envisioned it going down. My brother-in-law is very timid, anxious, etc. And I was surprised to even ask my husband for a request like this. So I'm wondering if this is coming from his fiance, or maybe it was discussed with husband's family. We live far away, but they were all recently together for a different family event. And somehow it came up and other family members chimed in. I don't know. That part bothers me a bit too. And someone said if the other family is that upset, then they can chip in for a hotel room for the couple.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just like, that's so silly to ask that much of anyone from their own home. I just find it weird. And like, I've seen that. You see that in movies a lot of times where like, and of course it's always like people that are like rich usually or whatever, but like their parents come to stay with them for the holidays. So they give the parents their bed.
Well, I understand that. They're older and you worry about,
Yeah, I guess so.
Backs, and they, sometimes you don't want to put your elderly parents on an air mattress or.
True. But I don't know.
Although that's where your grandmother stayed at your apartment.
You don't have to tell people that.
But I think you offered her the bed.
I think I did. Yeah.
She's
like,
like,
no.
she's like, I'm not taking your bed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on. I'm choosing this one. This one I have not read or anything. So, am I the asshole for sending my family an angry email because they still speak to my ex-husband and even have him over? and especially in light of his present relationship with a girl 20 years younger than him.
Oh, you hear of this a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Basic background is I'm 42, 2 kids, age 14 and 12, and signed divorce papers in April after almost 2 years of it being drug out trying to get my fair share from him. The details of why are not important, but I'm angry, embarrassed, lost, and sad any given moment of the day. A lot of this has to do with feeling like I've been replaced by a 23-year-old surfing instructor who is everything I'm not. My husband and kids claim that she is just his friend and helping him learn his lifelong desire to surf, but Jesus Christ, give me a break. My husband has primary custody because he had better lawyers who were able to manipulate some minor missteps on my part into the court, seeing them as a huge deal. So this past weekend, I picked up the kids and said we were going to visit my parents. They said they would rather use their season passes to SeaWorld since they spent all weekend with my parents and Aunt Stacy and Uncle Brian, my brother and sister who I didn't even know were in town. I was like, your dad took you? They said yes, that my parents had invited him over to see everyone. I was devastated because while I don't get along with my brother and sister and my mom, they let my ex-husband know they were coming and not me. I can't even let that sink in without tears forming. I sort of jested that, oh, and let me guess Miss Surf Instructor was there too. My daughter said, well, actually, we all went to her house in Ocean Beach because she gave Stacy and Brian lessons after ours. That included my mom and dad. I was so devastated, I took the kids back home and just went home and cried for an hour. When I was done, I sent a furious email to my entire family how inappropriate they all had been, and then not only hanging out with my ex for an entire weekend, but as little Chippy as well as a massive slap in the face, and the fact they didn't even tell they were in town, let alone invite me, makes me feel so alone. My mom was the only one to respond, and she basically said, yes, it was rude. We didn't tell you Stacy and Brian were here, and we shouldn't have done that. But we didn't divorce Bradley, and we still see him as a son. This email, along with your behavior over the past 5 years, should really give you insight into why we might not want you at family events. In so many words, she called me asshole for sending the email. Was I? Edit, to the people installing their own narrative on my post, you're the asshole. Just read what I wrote in the OP for your decision, okay?
Okay, so
Yikes.
OP has trouble getting along with people.
Yeah.
Period.
100%.
And I get it. I mean, she's had a bad divorce, seemingly to her at least, and probably her husband's left her for a much younger woman, and that hurts, and it hurts that the family. But I also know too, we've had divorces in our family, and you have to be careful. It's rough water to tread because, especially if there's kids involved, he is still their dad. And sometimes in-laws or sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws have become close.
Yeah.
And are friends. And just because the two divorce, do you have to cut off that friendship? But because of, okay, I don't get along with my brother and sister. I don't get along with my mom.
Yeah.
The mom mentioned something about her behavior the last 5 years. I mean,
there's some context clues here.
We're looking at the facts, right? Looking at the
fact that you
clues
don't have custody of your children when, like, statistically, and this isn't like a gender thing on my part, just statistically, women get the mother gets custody of the children more often.
Right. It's much easier for the mother to get custody.
And her, like, saying this thing of, well, he had better lawyers and there were just some missteps that I took that got blown out of proportion. I'm like, okay, what were these missteps?
Yeah,
What were you doing that you shouldn't have been doing while your kids were there or something? Yeah, it seems, I don't know.
And the mom's reaction to the email seems, I mean, she didn't try lying about it or making excuses. She said, I guess that was an asshole thing for us to do.
Yeah, she was pretty just open about it.
Right.
She was like, yes, it was rude, and I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But your behavior the past 5 years should really give you insight into why we might not want you at family events. Like, she was just very, like, straight to the point about it.
Right.
And this is her daughter, so I'm like...
Yeah.
Some comments here. Probably you're the asshole. I feel like there's some curating of information here. Reading between the lines. 1, father has primary custody. 2, you don't get along with any of your family. 3, following the news, you punished your kids by doing nothing with them instead of making alternate plans. That's true. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
4, your family highlighted your behavior for over 5 years as being a problem. There may be more to the context of this, but it seems like you might need to take a look at your pattern of behaviors and actions. Time to accept some personal responsibility for your situation. There was some information here. I don't know where it was said, but somewhere it was said that she had an affair. And that's why they had a divorce. And they said, see, that would be known as curating. It's official, you're the asshole.
Yeah. And she's trying to make him look bad that, he's dating someone half his age now and playing the victim when...
Oh, I'm trying to load the user profile and it's not letting me. But apparently this person said, for everyone who can't figure out how I know about the affair, click on the username and read the multiple comments about having an affair on the topic. Dang it. Come on. Someone said, I'd also like to point out that family courts do not blow minor missteps out of proportion and use it against a mother to award custody to the father. Whatever the OP is referring to as a minor misstep is probably closer to a major fuck up. I'm looking for some comments from OP, and also I really want to, I don't know why it's not letting me click on their profile. Yeah, people are saying child custody is not granted. Like, it's not likely,
Right.
Okay, wait. Okay, so some people, because you can't click on the profile anymore, there is some, oh my God. Guys, we've just been having so many problems today. You probably noticed that the camera was gone for a minute or so. The first was recording, then it was the camera. I don't know what's going on today. We're having some crazy technical things. But what I was saying is because you can't get to the OP's profile anymore, some people did copy and paste some of the comments and statements that she had said. As stated elsewhere in the thread, OP had an affair. Has to be pretty bad when even your side of the family sides with your ex. Some other minor missteps, according to the OP in the comments. So 1 was my daughter had a soccer game and I was supposed to pick her up. I thought the game was in Oceanside, but was actually at Dusty Roads Park in Ocean Beach. I mistook one town for another, but because they are almost 2 hours apart in traffic, she waited by herself in a park for a few hours. They turned this from a mistake where I confused Ocean Beach and Oceanside into me not deserving custody. Okay. Number 2, minor mishaps. My husband's lawyer was able to convince the mediator that my belief in intuitive eating was dangerous, that I was friends with toxic people, and I was an unsafe driver. What is intuitive eating?
I don't know.
Okay, we're going to look intuitive eating up in a minute. And number 3, I'm in recovery from an eating disorder, so intuitive eating is eating whatever your body tells you to eat whenever you get the feeling. I am great friends with an activist blogger and her wife, and my ex views and with an activist blogger and her wife, and my ex views them as toxic. I'm not a great driver, but we also live in Southern California where driving is very challenging.
So we don't take responsibility for anything.
No. Oh, she also said in another comment that her bad driving, it's difficult because sometimes she's high.
Yikes. We know why she doesn't have custody of her children.
Someone said, you're the asshole. Sorry, but your family is right. Your jealousy and hurt over his new girlfriend is irrelevant here. Your family is not obliged to take sides in a divorce. What matters is that your children still have a good relationship with the family, and that's great. Since you don't get along with your brother, how else will your kids get to see the many family members you don't get along with if their dad doesn't take them? So there's a comment here that says, this sounds oddly familiar to me. An old friend of mine that moved and is now a surfing instructor started dating this older guy. They told everyone they were only friends because they wanted to test the waters with the kids and so on. But what she told me about the ex is insane. The mother of the children was a negligent bitch, my words after hearing all her story, but basically she used the kids as a manipulator to keep the husband and was verbally as well as physically abusing them enough to keep them quiet. The woman was so crazy that she started to stalk her and tell her to back off and that she was a slut and so on. What makes me think this is the same woman from the post is her usage of words. That word chippy is not very common anymore. So, however, if that's the case, OP is batshit crazy. And someone said, now I want to hear more of that story. And they said, I don't know. Her boyfriend said she had a long affair, but my friend didn't disclose anything else. She was friends with a person that had sexually assaulted someone. And also a big part for the father was that their kids were malnourished. Apparently, they didn't have a set eating schedule and their calorie intake would vary drastically from day to day. I don't know, though, about leaving her daughter at a soccer field. I can't remember everything. Those are just the things that stood out to me. And someone replied, OP admitted to having an eating disorder where she listens to what her body tells her and to eat when she feels like it. Seems like it might be the same exact person.
And she was having the children follow that intuitive eating also.
Yeah.
It wasn't just her, but she wasn't providing regular meals for the children. It was like, eat when you're hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this seems interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, she cheated on her husband for 3 years. She was having an affair for 3 years. Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot. Apparently, the OP commented and then it got deleted and all because there's just a lot of stuff going on.
Well, it sounds like the father is the more responsible adult, and thank goodness they do have him.
Yeah.
And her family.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not just siding with her just because it's her family. Wow.
So thankfully they have those other adults in their life.
Yeah.
Because
so that's today's stories. Pretty crazy stuff.
Crazy family drama.
Yeah, so crazy family drama. I think my favorite was the Ancestry.com one, just because it was so wholesome.
Well, it had a good ending.
Yeah, it had like a good ending.
I always like a good ending.
But definitely some crazy family drama. I would like to do a second part on these because I feel like there's just always family drama. So let us know your craziest family drama stories.
And hearing these stories make you feel like your crazy family drama is not so crazy.
True, maybe so. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. If you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of those, please rate our episodes. And you can leave a comment on there as well. We'd love to hear from you. Man.
If you have any topics you would like, a theme, we're always looking for themes.
Yeah, or subreddits that you'd like us to cover that we haven't dove into. I know there's some other ones that we haven't really. I know we primarily do a lot of Am I the Asshole, but there's some ones like Am I Overreacting, which is an interesting one. We've done a little bit from Today I Fucked Up. What's the other one that I was thinking about today that I was like, why have we not covered more stories from there? What is it? Oh, I think it's True Off My Chest.
Oh.
Yeah, True Off My Chest, which can get pretty crazy too in there. But let us know. Thank you guys so much for listening, for watching. We have new episodes every Thursday. I blanked out. But yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next one. We love you guys so much. Thank you. And
Bye.
don't get caught in the family dumpster fire drama. Bye.
Bye.